how are you? Welcome to Sunday. You've gone dark because I'm just moving you across there to close that door. The washing machine's on, so I do apologise. I may have to turn it off if it gets too noisy. You know what it's like at the weekend, especially if you're out the day before, like I was yesterday in Kew. You end up Sunday spending your time cleaning and washing and doing dinner. And although hubby could do it next week while he's off, there are some things I do need to sort out because I'm away with work as well this week. So yeah, it's all busy, busy, busy. Today my parents are coming for dinner, so I thought I would do a roast lamb. And I don't eat lamb. No, I don't. So I am putting all this effort in for my parents and my hubby, of course, because he loves lamb. We also bought half a lamb a couple of months ago with a friend. We went halves on a lamb. And so yeah, we've got loads of lamb and obviously 2 legs, which need using up. And when you don't eat lamb yourself, it limits the amount of time you'll do lamb. So I do lamb chops and the bits that came with it. But a big lamb leg is just too much for one person. So with my parents come round, I thought, you know what? I might as well do lamb for them. So I thought I'd show you today how I'm going to do that for you. Right, so first of all, I've got my lamb leg. There it is. For some reason they chopped the very bit off here. Don't know what that was all about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to add rosemary and garlic into it, which should hopefully infuse while it's cooking. And I am going to turn that washing machine off because it's going to get very noisy very soon. Right, so I've scored the meat just to make it easier to pop in the garlic and the rosemary. So I'm just making it into like little squares across the top. Now, how much rosemary and garlic you're going to use all depends on how much garlic people like. My dad is coming for dinner and he's not a garlic fan, okay? So I'm not going mad on the garlic. I've got 3 cloves, which I've sort of quartered each clove, and I'm going to put them in quite thick where I'm placing them, just to get maximum flavour, even though Dad doesn't like it. Now the bit down here is really hard to get into, so I'm just popping it underneath the actual bone to get to infuse. It's difficult sometimes. There we go. And then my rosemary, I've just got some sprigs here, which again I'm just going to pop in. Now you can, if you want, is just put the rosemary loose on top. It's not a problem with that. It just gets into it more if you can poke it in. Alright. It takes a bit of care and time, but it's worth it. I'm told, as they're not eating lamb myself, I wouldn't know. Just popping it in. I do love the smell of rosemary, I have to say. Okay, right, there we go. So I'm just going to pop some loose sprigs on top. I've got quite a lot of rosemary left here as well in the bag, so I'll probably use more of that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown this in the pan that I'm going to cook it in. Now, you might not have a pan that you can put on your stove, and that's fine. You can do it separately in a pan and then transfer it. The Berkoff pan that I use, I can use on the stove and in the oven. So I'm just going to go and brown that off. So I'll show you that too. Right, so here's my Berkoff pan. Now, normally I don't need any oil in there. And if you want to, I probably don't need oil today, but I just thought it would crisp it off a little bit quicker. I'm just going to move the oil around so it's all around the base. I've literally used a teaspoon of oil, so if you're doing this with a non-stick pan, then obviously use a bit more. And I'm going to pop my lamb in, and I'm going to brown it on both sides. So can you hear that sizzle? It's exactly what you want. Leave that for a few minutes. Now while you've done this, you need to make sure that you get your oven hot as well. So you need to have it on for about 10 minutes before you put this in, just to make sure it is really, really hot for you guys. Oh, I do love the sound of that sizzling away. Now, also while this is sizzling, you can prepare the rest of the ingredients that you're going to need. So you're going to need about 1.5 litres of beef stock or lamb stock if you want it. A couple of carrots, chopped roughly, and you can add an onion. I'm not, and the reason I'm not adding an onion is my mum can't eat onions. They make her a bit poorly, so I'm just doing this for them. I don't want to make my mum ill when she comes to dinner. Right, I think that's ready, and I can just turn that over now. I just probably need two because it's quite heavy. Okay, we're just browning it. We're not cooking it, we're just browning it with a bit of colour. Can you see? You can see that's just got a little bit of colour. I'm going to do the same. Some of the rosemary and garlic will fall off the top when I turned it over. It's not a train smash because I say I can pop some back on in a minute. Now you're also going to need 150 millilitres of red wine for this. I've just used a Pinot Noir from Sainsbury's, if you can see that. There we go. It's just a house red. It's actually a very nice house red. There is an argument to say that if you're cooking with red wine, it has to be a red wine that you like to eat. Not eat, drink. Don't use like a really cheap, tacky wine that tastes disgusting because it will make the sauce taste disgusting. Because the liquid of this will be used to make the gravy later. I'll also make a normal gravy for myself because I'm not eating lamb. So you can smell the garlic off. Because when I don't eat lamb, it does smell nice. The reason I don't eat lamb is because I used to get the train to work, well I still do, but the route I took is the route I'm doing now actually under my new route. And every day we'd stop at the Points at Hatton, which was a field full of lambs. And I'd watch the lambs being born and then they disappear for dinner, and over time I just thought I can't eat a lamb, and I haven't touched one since. So that was about 30 odd years ago. So yeah, a long time not eating lamb. Right, that sounds like it's really going nicely. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to turn that over now. My dolphin stands right behind me every time I cook in the hopes that it falls off. Not Lola, Fido. There we go. You see the colour on that? That's perfect. So all I'm going to do for that now, as I said, I'm going to add 2 carrots into that. This is the perfect time to add your onions if you're adding onions into it as well. Alright. There we go, so that's going in there. I'm going to add my stock. It's gone in there. And then my red wine. So turn it off there. There we go. That's it. Now I'm going to pop this in an oven. It goes on for 1 hour and 3/4 in total. I'm going to just turn it over halfway through, just to make sure that both sides soak up the juices. It needs to rest for 30 minutes before I serve it, so make sure you allow it enough time. So let me get this in the oven and I'll show you halfway through. One of the things I love about the position of my kitchen window is I get to see all the activity of the birds in the garden. I just love the robin. Hasn't been around for a while actually, so seeing him again this weekend has been amazing. He's been hanging around the garden all morning, hiding away. I'm probably a little bit too far away for you to see properly, but this is our bird feeder, and this morning it has been a hive of activity. I don't want to go outside to take close pictures because that scares them all off, and I love having them there. We had to refill that yesterday because they have been demolishing it. Another one hiding somewhere. There he is. Look, he's gone. So yeah, so nice relaxing while I'm peeling my potatoes for my roasters today. Sorry, I keep getting you out of focus because I am a little bit too far with this camera. But yeah, see the bird tables? Oh, my dad built me, but can I get it in focus? Probably not. Can you see that? It's got a proper slate roof, chimney and a TV area on top, and it is actually able to take a bird breeding inside the top. There's a hole on the other side, but say I don't open my door to my kitchen to scare them off. The bird bath is really getting a lot of activity at the moment. I obviously want a nice little wash. Look, how cute is that? It's just so, so cute. So far I've had a pigeon, a robin and blue tits having a good old bath today. Beautiful. Right, so I've just peeled all my potatoes for my roasties, and this is another little trick because I want to keep this as Slimming World friendly as possible for me, because obviously I'm having chicken. I know lamb isn't necessarily Slimming World friendly if you're going to make this sauce, well, the gravy rather, that I'm going to make later, but everything else I can keep as on plan for myself. So I'm going to pop in a beef stock cube, and that just adds flavour to the potatoes. So I'm going to blanch some with the beef stock cube in there until it just becomes softened, but honestly it really does make a difference. And then I'll keep the liquid because that will help towards the gravy later. I've also got some cauliflower there, and I just need to now peel some what am I going to have with it? Some roasted carrots and roasted parsnips even, so I'll get on with those too. Right, so my timer's gone off to tell me it's halfway through cooking, so I better get it out and give it a little bit of turnover. Here we go. Right, there it is. So I just now need to get something, all you've steamed up now, to give it a bit of a turnover. Right, here goes. It's much easier now the bone has sort of protruded out of the meat where it's shrunk. Look at that. That actually looks very nice. And the reason you turn it over is just to make sure the juices get over the whole of it. But that looks amazing. So I'm going to pop it in for the other half of the cooking time, and then I better get on with my roasties and get those in the oven to start roasting. Right, I've now took my potatoes out of the saucepan and put them into a colander. I'm just going to give them a little shake just so that they rough the edges, and I need to do it with two hands, so I'm going to put you down for a second while I do that. There we go. So you see, there we go. You keep steaming up because this is really hot. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a little shake just to rough the edges, because it actually helps them crisp off. Now there is still some of the stock cube on some of these potatoes, but that is perfect. That's what I want. Okay, let me just, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see where some of the potatoes are a little bit rough there? Okay. That just helps with the crispiness, as I said. So I'm going to pop these into my roasting tray. I've also got here my carrots and my parsnips, so they're there. Now what I'm also going to do, okay, something I like to do, okay, is I'm just going to add some of that juice from the potatoes into there, over it all, okay. As that cooks, that will disappear. So it's not going to make them soggy, but it will add some flavour. Okay, and then in about 10 minutes time, I'll give them a little shaker and add some fry light on top. Not going to tell anyone doing that, because they won't know these are Slimming World friendly vegetables. So there we go. So these are going to pop into the oven now on the top shelf. So the oven's on about 150 with the lamb in there, and that would just mean that it will cook crispier for me. I'll keep an eye on these because I don't want these going black, but this has been parboiled, so it should be all absolutely spot on. Right, so while that's cooking now, I've got time to put some more washing on. So the whites are on now, and I need to dress my dining room because it doesn't look like a dining room right now. Well, it does actually, that's a lie. It just doesn't look like a dining room where guests are about to arrive. So yeah, I'll show you what it looks like at the moment. Not impressive, look. It's a little bit boring, isn't it? I need to get rid of some of this. This is my Harrods bauble, which I'll show you at some point for Christmas. Just the things that we'll use to dress. Some birthday presents, which I need to move upstairs very quickly. These need to go back in the kitchen. And then my gym bag needs to move. And yeah, so I need to get cracking really, don't I? Oh, and some posts, which I need to get rid of. So yeah. Right, I think that looks a little bit better. Got here some Schluer for my dad because he doesn't drink, and Phantom River, which my hubby loves. It's a nice Malbec there. I will have a Slimline white wine, which is in a box in the kitchen. So, but that looks a bit nicer, and obviously mint sauce for those having mint. I've just remembered I haven't thought about my chicken, so I've still got time to cook that while the lamb's resting, but I do have to make sure I remember it. So yeah. That looks a little bit more presentable for my parents. And Lola, can you see her? What are you doing down there, Lola Bear? Hey, you trying to see what food might be here? Are you? Sit down. I know. Do you want Sunday dinner, do you? You want the lamb bones, do you? Do you? Sit down then. Sit down, Lola. Sit down. Good girl. Good girl. Give me your paw. Give me your paw. Paw. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Should we go do dinner? Shall we? Come on then. Oh, here's Fido to come and join us. Come on then, Fido. Should we go do dinner? Come on then. Let's go do dinner. Oh, sit down then. Sit down, both of you. Sit down and say hello. Say happy Sunday. Fido, sit. 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 Oh, no. We're not going to get it. No, we're not. They're too interested in following me. Right. Let's go back to the kitchen and get cooking. Look at the mess. That's the only thing when you're cooking, you need to clean up. Oh, right. Let's get cracking. Oh, there's my slimline wine for later, guys. So, yeah. Not going to go without. And that's my hubby's cake, some from my mum and some from me to last him during the week. So let's get finishing dinner. Okay, so as promised, I'm just going to give these all a little turn so that liquid soaks all of it. Okay, it's cooking nicely. It's lovely. Okay, and then as promised, again, a little bit of firelight butter going on to everything. There we go. And that's going back in the oven for about 20 minutes to crisp off. And hopefully that should be done, ready for anything else is ready. Right, so that is the lamb done. I'm just going to set that aside now and cover it with foil and leave that to rest for 30 minutes. Then what I'm going to do is drain all this off to make the gravy. That's Lola trying to get out the back door to chase the pigeons that are in the garden. There it is, resting. I'm just going to cover it in foil and keep it as far away from Lola as possible because that is just going to be far too tempting. Right, so I've drained off the liquid. There's the carrots and this is the gravy that's left. And I'm just going to cook this down a bit so that it sort of intensifies the nice gravy. Cauliflower is starting to cook there. And then with these, I'm not going to waste these. I'm actually going to cook this off just to brown it a little bit because I know my husband will enjoy that because it's got the flavours of the lamb as well as the garlic and the rosemary in there. So it'll add to the vegetables. So nothing is going to get wasted. I'll take the big stalks out, obviously, here. Because I don't think he wants to eat those, but yeah, I think that will really add a nice intense flavour for him. It's all coming together very nicely, isn't it? Right guys, true confession time now. Just suddenly realised I forgot to make the Yorkshire puddings, and you can't have Sunday dinner without a Yorkshire. And normally I batch cook them, so I'm quite cross, and freeze them. But obviously last weekend I used the last of the batch that was in the freezer and didn't make any more. So I don't have time to make any now. And so I had to run to Tesco, no, Sainsbury's even, down the road from me, who have hardly any Yorkshire puddings left. There's like 2 bags in the freezer right at the way back. So I have bought Sainsbury's own shop bought Yorkshire puddings. I don't know what they're like. They take 4 minutes to cook apparently, but there was no Aunt Betty's. There was nothing else left in the freezer. So I've just got a notification saying someone's at my front door, which means my parents have arrived and I'm still at Sainsbury's car park, which means I better move it. So I will catch you later. Right, apple pie and custard for dinner. Hey, for pudding. But didn't bake it, hey? Cheated. Went to Sainsbury's with custard. Right, so dinner's done. It was lovely. Got plenty of leftovers, which will go in the fridge for tomorrow. The last of the washing's now finished. Dishwasher's on. So I think it's time for me to chill out and relax for my Sunday evening. So I'm going to download this video to you, and I'm going to say goodbye. So guys, if you like that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click notifications, and give me a thumbs up. I will catch you soon, guys. Happy Sunday.